It was 1:07 a.m. when my phone buzzed. The blue light from the screen sliced through the darkness, landing on the empty half of our bed, hers. "Hey babe, don't wait up. Josh needed help finishing the client proposal. Shouldn't be too long." I read it twice. 3 times. The message felt off like a chord played slightly out of tune. My wife, Lila, was many things. Devoted, meticulous, a night owl even. But she had never once texted me that late from work. I stared at the message until the words blurred. A faint hum of rain brushed against the window. Our bedroom, always warm and calm, suddenly felt colder, heavier. Josh. The name tightened something in my chest. He was the new senior analyst. Confident. Charming. Married too, or so he'd mentioned when we met at her company's summer mixer. I remembered his easy grin when he shook my hand, and how Lila laughed, really laughed, when he made some joke about spreadsheets. That laugh echoed in my head now. I typed out a simple reply. "That's fine. Tell Josh I said hi. I'm looking forward to seeing you both tomorrow morning." Then I hit send. It was petty, a test disguised as casualness. But beneath it, something darker stirred. An instinct whispering that something wasn't right. Minutes passed. No reply. I watched the typing dots appear, then disappear, and then silence. I couldn't sleep. My mind replayed every small moment of the past few weeks. Her sudden extra hours, the nervous way she locked her phone, the faint smell of a different cologne on her jacket one night that she swore was a client's hug. Still, I tried to rationalize. She'd worked hard for this promotion. Late nights were part of it. Josh was probably just a coworker who relied too much on her. But deep down I knew that wasn't the whole truth. At 1:28 a.m., I sent another message. "I hope you two got the proposal done. Should I drop by with coffee? I'm awake anyway." Seconds later my phone lit up. Incoming call. "Lila," I whispered before answering. Her voice came out strained, rushed. "No, don't come. So it's almost done. We're just printing things." "Printing?" At 1:30 in the morning. I asked quietly. A pause. Then the faint sound of her exhale, like she'd been caught off guard. "Yeah, the client's in another time zone. We need it ready by morning." "Right," I said, letting the silence stretch. "Tell Josh I said hi again." Another pause. "Ethan, don't be weird, okay? I'll be home soon." "Sure," I murmured. "I'll keep the light on." I hung up before she could answer. An hour crawled by. Rain tapped harder against the glass, rhythmic and mocking. The clock blinked 2:36 a.m. when I finally opened the location sharing app on my phone. Something we'd set up long ago, for safety. My pulse quickened as the map loaded. Her dot wasn't at her office. It was at the Riverside Suites Hotel. For a moment I just stared, unable to process it. The air left my lungs all at once, replaced by something hollow and burning. No, there had to be an explanation. Maybe the team booked a conference room there. Maybe the office's printer broke. Maybe. But every maybe felt thinner than air. My hands trembled as I typed my final message. "You left your laptop charger at home. Should I drop it off at Riverside Suites?" It was cruel. Deliberate. And I meant every word. She read it instantly. The little scene notification blinked like a confession. Then the typing bubbles. Stop. Start. Stop again. Finally, wait. No. Don't. I'm coming home. I sat on the couch, phone clutched in my hand, staring at the door. Every creak of the floorboards, every tick of the clock carved deeper into my chest. When her car finally pulled up outside 30 minutes later, I didn't move. I just listened to her hurried footsteps, the sound of her keys fumbling at the lock, the shaky exhale when she saw me waiting. Her eyes were wide, red-rimmed. "Ethan, Save it," I said quietly. "Was it Josh?" She froze. Her mouth open, closed. The silence between us said everything her words couldn't. "It wasn't like that," she whispered, tears welling. "We were just talking. He's been going through things. His marriage." "Don't," I said. My voice cracked, breaking into something I didn't recognize. "Don't rewrite it. Not for me." Her shoulders trembled. "Please. I made a mistake. It wasn't planned. I just felt seen and I thought." I laughed then, a sound more like disbelief than humor. "You felt seen? So you disappeared from the one person who's been looking right at you for years." She covered her face and sobbed. For a second I wanted to hold her. I wanted to believe her. But I couldn't. Something irreversible had shifted, the kind of break no amount of apology could mend. By morning the rain had stopped. She was still awake, sitting on the edge of the bed, her face pale in the gray light. "I'll pack some things," she said softly. "Stay with my sister for a while." I nodded. When she turned to leave, I finally spoke. "Lila," I said, my voice low. "If I hadn't sent that message, would you have come home at all?" Her silence was the only answer I needed. She walked out. The door clicked shut. Weeks later, her toothbrush still sat in the holder. Her perfume still lingered in the air. But the house no longer felt like ours. I replayed that night in my head often, not because I wanted to, but because it branded itself into me. The text. The hotel. The trembling confession. I didn't lose her that night. I think I lost her long before that. Somewhere between the late nights and the silences we both stopped noticing. My message hadn't made her rush home out of love. It was fear. Fear of being caught. And sometimes I think that's the cruelest kind of betrayal, the kind that shows you not only who they are, but who you became trying to trust them.